Hi, everyone. Lisa Haven here. Well, a ton of things are happening on the economy. Right now, Trump is literally about to, quote unquote, kill the Fed. And I'm going to bring in my economic insider to tell you about it. But the Fed is, I believe, the enemy of the people anyway. And technically, I think we should go back to, the gold standard versus where we're at, just pulling things out of thin air. But Bob Kudlow is with me with tradelikeagenius.com. So Bob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Lisa. How are you? Happy 4th.
Happy 4th to you too. So let's just jump right into this. Dump right in. I guess that works. What's going on with the economy? Let's start there.
Yeah, so when we talked last time, I said probably the economy's going to do fine until mid-2020, maybe even push all the way into the election. I think that still stands. We're starting to see weakness, though, especially coming out of Asia. Asia's in big trouble, and that may push the recession maybe into 2020 if Asia keeps softening like it is. China, South Korea, and Japan are all getting really, really weak, and that will have a reverb effect, through Europe and then back to the U.S. So that's why you see Trump pushing so hard on the Fed, saying, hey, guys, you're too tight, you're too tight, you're too tight. He sees it coming down the pike here. And typically the Fed takes too long to react to these situations, and they may screw up again and push us into a recession. So that's kind of where we are right now. And, and in Europe, I don't know if you saw the news yesterday, but they actually are going to nominate Christine Lagarde as the new ECB chairperson. She just got convicted for corruption, and they're going to put her in charge of the ECB, which is the Central Bank of Europe. I mean, totally fitting. And she's an advocate of negative interest rates. So now you have the European Union now going totally negative on rates. She wrote a paper on it. That means that, everywhere in Europe, the rate you have to pay, to borrow money. Now you get money to borrow money. And so we're going into a bizarre world. And then also yesterday, President Trump announced Judy Shelton as his new nominee for the Fed, and also another person out of Kansas City. And both of them are advocates of the gold standard and also just driving our rates to zero. And when that happens, you get to a point where really what is the value of the Fed and the banking system? Because there's a third thing that came out is Facebook came out with this coin called the Libra coin. Well, they're coming out with it, which basically it's like a private currency. And it's not a cryptocurrency other than the fact that it's encrypted, but it's basically Facebook coin. And that has the central banks all in the tizzy, has governments all in the tizzy, because they're going to lose their monopoly on printing money. And so I think we're at a point now where Trump, he's going to take on the cartel here in the U.S. He's going to have an advocate inside the Fed. He's going to drive us to a gold standard, and he's going to get the Fed out of the business of manipulating our currency and get it back into the hands of the legislation and the executive branches. So that's what's going on. It's really wild. And so the thing to look for now is we're making all-time highs right now in the stock market, even as we're talking right now. Once we push over 3,000 in the SPX, we're going to hit maybe another 5%, and we'll probably top in the next 3 months. And then at the same time, if we start lowering interest rates, Lisa, that's when you put the countdown ticker. 6 months after that, we'll be into a recession, because interest rates now are what they call inverting. That means the money that you pay for longer term bonds is worth less than shorter term bonds. That means there's a fear factor in there for people that have bonds, and usually that's a telltale sign of a recession coming. So all good now, but storm clouds on the horizon.
Absolutely. And here's the thing I'll add to that is, first and foremost, that's how you kill the Fed, is start backing it back by the gold standard, which I think, honestly, I'm seeing that as a positive move on Trump's side. You agree with that?
Absolutely.
Now, not only that, but in addition to that, you had mentioned Libra, Facebook coin. I am scared to death of that, to be honest with you, because Facebook is a company that already censors and basically obliterates anyone who is a Christian, a conservative, a libertarian, or a Trump supporter. They're getting us off of their platforms, and here they are going to start a currency. I guarantee you that they'll start using that currency against us, if you will. And that's what terrifies me. And I believe they were even tossing the name The Mark around for Libra. I forget Steve. I think it was Steve Forbes or one of the Steves. I'm not remembering off the top of my head, but one of them said, let's call it The Mark. And I'm like, no, bad name. They're like biblical narrative, but the whole thing is terrifying. And Libra's being backed, I think, by Uber and PayPal and Vimeo and like banks even. And so I'm like, we don't need to give a guy power like him, who is already proven that he sells our information and is collecting data. And this is eerie when you think of the mark of the beast. It's just that terrifies me. Does it you?
Yeah, I mean, you look what all these private corporations are doing now. They're deciding whether or not, if you don't agree with them politically, they're deciding to not allow you to use their services. You know, somebody said, what if the phone company decides that they don't like your politics? They're going to just shut your phone off or shut your electricity off? I mean, these companies are monopolies. I only brought the Facebook thing up. I mean, I am totally opposed to it. I'm a Bitcoin guy, and I'm totally opposed to corporations now running currencies. It's like the company store worldwide, and you know, and I think that's going to be a big battle. But what it did was, I think it scared now the central bank, saying, hey, we've lost our ability to really control currencies, and that's why, you know, we've always been an advocate of hard money. You know, you want to get into gold, silver, the miners, cryptocurrencies have, and that's why they've been doing so well, Lisa. And while they'll continue to do well, the dollar will keep its strength till the end, and then the dollar will just disappear, and then it'll be just too late. So you need to get into it now. You know, you're talking probably 5 to 10 times move in gold and silver if they use that to basically pay off the debt. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just going to add, that's one reason why I partner with you, is because you train people what to do when these things go down, how to handle things like Libra and cryptocurrency and gold and silver. So I encourage everyone out there listening, go to tradelikeagenius.com, check out what he has there to offer, because you train people what's going on in order to put more money in our pockets. And you have proven yourself on my channel. You've come on multiple times, made predictions. They, economically speaking, have all come to pass. I've never heard you say one that hasn't to date. So I really take what you're saying as very solid and good. So I just want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I think it's important. And it's also important to see, you know, a lot of people are just stuck in the day to day, and you know, we view our role as to kind of peek around the corners, and it's out there. You know, people just don't want to see it sometimes. Or what we normally face is the narrative crushers. You know, the social media giants trying to shape people's opinion versus seeing the truth, and that's what we try to do, and that's what you try to do, and it's important, because that's how you prosper, and that's how you profit during these times. Is that when they're telling you to do one thing, you know, I always laugh. I said, whenever CNBC is telling me to do one thing, I better start doing the opposite, because they're selling something they want me to buy, you know, and you know, you need to be, you know, a Berean here and think for yourself and you know, look at this information. And we do more than just train people. We provide trade signals. We have chat rooms where people can get in, and we also have software indicators on the software. I've given you charts many times in the past. You see the buy and sells right on them. You get access to that, and then you can actually trade things that we may not trade, because it's the same algorithms that look for the buying and the selling pressure. So, but we've been on this camp. You know, we've seen this thing coming for a long time, and nothing's. Look at gold. I mean, right now it's pressing against its 6-year high, and it's going to blow right through. And the minute the Fed lowers interest rates, gold and silver are going to go through the moon, and people are just going to be sit there dumbfounded, because they've been told all along that gold's not really worth anything. Reason why is because they've been buying it the whole time, and they're trying to keep you from buying it and raising the price. Last 10 years, the central banks have been net buyers of gold and silver, okay? And reason being is because they see this coming. They know they have to get back onto some sort of hard commodity standard of some sort, because the fiat currencies are going to be like Venezuela. People just aren't going to want them. And you're going to have something that's backed by something that somebody's willing to take in a trade. And that's why you see trade collapsing around the world, is because countries are starting to trust each other less and less. And Trump's been in front of that too. He's an amazing guy. People, you can like him or hate him. You can like his approach or not like his approach, but he absolutely knows what he's doing. And he's doing the hard work that people for the last 15, 20 years have been afraid to do. And he shows that you can do it, and you can push through the bullies, and you can make change happen. And if we get through this, it'll be because of the things that he has done. So, just watch what he says with an open mind, because he sees this and he knows the only way we're going to get through this is we got to put China in a box. We got to rely on ourselves more, and we got to get our own Democrats under control before they blow up the whole country.
Yeah, you mean communize the whole country. Yeah. Communist. Yeah. They are. I have reports coming out on that this week, but what they're doing is they really want a plantation mentality for everyone. I'm not talking one race or one color. I'm talking they want to be the top and control everyone on the bottom. It doesn't matter what your race, your color, your creed, your culture. That's what they want. And they're trying to wheel us all into their system. And it's not fair for any person in America. We all have equality, and we all have a right to make money. We all have a right to lose money. And the Democrats want to take away our ability to make money and put it all under their government banner, while we all, every race, creed, and color, become their slave. And that's what I'm so against. Again, and just a big shout out to you. This is one thing. If you go to tradelikeagenius.com, I know you have specials. You've got major specials through Saturday, correct? The 6th. So make sure you get those. But this is one where you spend a little up front, and then you eventually get that money back, because it's kind of like prepping. You prep for yourself rather than paying someone to do it for you. You teach them how to do it for themselves, and then in return they can make themselves money. So that's why I just love what you do.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we teach you, and we show you, and we help you, and we what we charge for the service is nothing compared to what you get out of it. And we have a lot of very happy subscribers, and we think we're doing the right thing, and we try to do the right thing by people, but thank you for noticing. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for coming on. I know I love to bring you on because you have all the economic inside information in addition to your years of studying that. So that's why I love to bring you on. Anyhow, I just want to say thank you to all your listeners out there. All the information is found in the description box below. Please keep your heads up about what's going on in the economy. It's coming up and up right now. It seems that way, but that's what happened in, our 2008 crisis. Everything seemed great, and then bam. And this is what can very well happen. I can guarantee you that the mainstream media is not going to say a word about it. You don't want to wait till then. You want to prepare now while we're in that stable place, and then be prepared for the future. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven. That was Bob Kudlow signing out.